Okay, so I finally finished Tannin's Annex, and as you heard, I was really worried about him for a little while because he was always floating and he couldn't swim down no matter how hard. Poor pitiful little man. He had his nose pointed down and all his 4 feet were trying to swim down with all his might, and he couldn't swim down. And he also couldn't poop. And whenever he flipped on his back, he couldn't get up, which sometimes he would flip on his back in the water. And I was so worried. But through all of that, he was his active little self. So I don't think it was ever an emergency situation. And I gave him some mineral oil, which I think helped a little bit because he still isn't gliding down to the bottom. But as you can see, somebody precious is hiding under his turtle dock. See, he's down in the water. Now, granted, it's the turtle dock that's making that possible for him. His face is so precious. But he is down a little more than he was before. So that's good. No, I'm just gonna have to back up. Okay, so before he just had his little tank, and he used to have right over here, he had another basking dock, but his other basking dock wasn't really big enough for him. I'm trying to back up enough. Hold on, pardon my photography skills. Okay, so this was his little dock, or his little tank, and it wasn't very big, and I felt bad that he didn't have enough landing space, so I added in a garden. Let me see how far away I can walk so we can finally get this all. Hold on. My house is small. Okay, so we can get this in perspective. Oh, there we go. Finally zoomed out. Okay, so this is his tank. And here's him from the side. And he just had his little tiny, my house is a mess. He just had his little tiny dock and another little tiny dock. But he's really good at climbing out, and his lights are really high up right now. I don't know if you can see, but they're high up, so he'll be safe when he crawls out. He hasn't done it yet, but he's going to crawl out and discover his turtle annex, because I heard that turtles do best when they have some kind of annex. I hope it's warm enough for him. I mean, summer's coming, so I don't think it really makes sense to get him a space heater, but like if little drafts, he's so cute with his nose pointing out. If little drafts aren't good for him, I might have to consider it. Anyway, so his little nose was pointing out the whole time I was working on his annex, and it was so precious. So here's how it went. I nailed together 4 pieces of wood plus a big bottom sheet, so 5 pieces in all. And then I nailed around it a plastic shower curtain. And over here, it's not going to zoom out anymore. This is bookshelf wires from Target. You're supposed to make a bookshelf out of them, and I used fence staples to nail them to the wood, which was like the hardest thing I've ever done. Underneath it does have a little more height from cement. Okay, my battery died. So Tannîn has found his annex, and he walked over here. Now, one thing I was slightly concerned about was that technically it's possible that he could walk from the annex onto the top of his roof here and escape. So I was slightly concerned about that. Him being him, of course, he figured that out instantly. So I'm opening up the roof, although being him, he'll probably figure out a way to get around here and jump down. He is so into escaping. Anyway, so this is a little him who I love with my whole heart. And, okay, so to demonstrate the way I made the annex, there's cement blocks at the very bottom, and then another shower curtain down here in case any drainage issues should occur. And I'm going to need to put another piece of fence right there, apparently, because look at him. People talk about turtles escaping. They're like, I don't know how my turtle escaped. I found out that turtles, like, that's what they do in life. So, as we're going to be watching him escape, but also, since this right now is just kind of hanging, the tablecloth is, I'm planning on getting some Velcro to hold it steady, because otherwise, I'd have to attach it permanently, in which case there'd be no way to wash it. Or it would just continue to hang. So anyway, I'm going to Velcro it so it'll stay in place and I can still wash it. So in here I planted nasturtiums, where I actually counted the number of seeds. There was like 100 seeds. And I very carefully planted them. The kale seeds were a lot smaller, so I just kind of sprinkled them around and mushed up the dirt a little bit. There he is. He's going to make it. What else can I talk about while we watch him escape? In his tank, usually I have those plastic aquarium decoration things, like flowers and whatever. However, However, since he can't get to the bottom very well right now, or actually he can't get to the bottom. Whoa. And he jumps into water. Since he can't get to the bottom, I took out his petals. And I took out the other dock, like I say, so he'd have more swimming space. Okay, now I'm just going to film him because he's so cute. He still can't really swim down, but he can sure swim across the top of the water. Oh, there's him trying to swim down. He's trying so hard. He wasn't trying that hard there. He's getting, see, he can almost go down. Oh, he made it halfway. It takes so much effort for him. I think it takes a little less now that I gave him the mineral oil. He might have just had some tummy troubles as a result of his anti-parasites. Let me give him some turtle snacks and see if he'll eat them. Obviously, he's not eating his minnows right now, which might be if he's slightly not feeling quite perfect, although as you can see, he's super energetic. So, let me give him some of these turtle snacks. Wait. I can't see what I'm doing. There we go. You got your turtle snacks. And in the past few days, I've been giving him lots of turtle snacks, trying to get him to eat. But he is eating. But anyway, I haven't been cleaning him up so much, so I'm going to have to clean his tank again because you know how it is when you don't clean up the pellets. If you would just eat the minnows, Mama wouldn't have to bother with the pellets. But he Americanized, unfortunately, a little bit quickly, and he likes prepared processed foods. So that's him. He's so cute. And I've been, since he couldn't swim to the bottom, but he's clearly fine. He's clearly fine. But I still just wanted to be around him. Also, since when he falls on his back, it's kind of weird. When he falls on his back in the water doing crazy acrobatics, he just sits there. He's not kicking his feet or trying to get up or anything. Which seems weird to me. I actually waited for a while one time. I counted backwards from 30. And he didn't really kick his feet. So I don't know what the deal is there. If it's just hard for him to flip over right now, or what's going on. So the vet said to quote-unquote monitor him, which it's a little hard to monitor a turtle when he's as spunky as this one. But anyway, I've been monitoring him. Oh, and as for the lights, I have this screen that usually goes there. Right now, it's not really, like, Tannîn will lift this thing up with no problem. So, I have magnets that I use to hold it down. Some of the magnets came unglued, which is why this isn't attached right now. But let me put it here because it still feels safer with the lights if there's at least pretending to be a screen. So, I didn't think about how this was going to work with wires. Anyway, the lights are going to go above the screen, and he's still going to be able to crawl out this way once I extend the wires a little bit. That way, if a bulb explodes or whatever, he'll be fine. And I need to, like, super glue the other side of the screen because he will lift this up. Like earlier today, I didn't have the magnets. Well, I was like, okay, the magnets are on in such a way right now that he can crawl out still, right? So since I moved the magnets around already, but the annex was not done, so I wanted him to stay in the tank. So I moved the screen to where if the screen stayed down, he wouldn't be able to crawl out of his tank. But like I say, there was no magnets that way. So I held the book down with this enormous, gigantic Josh McDowell book. Like, he power lifted his way through this thing. And it's like, let me see how many pages this sucker is. 784. It's enormous. And they're like thick pages. And it's hardcover. And he was like, whatever. And he just walks up to it. And he's got his arms. And he like heaves. Anyway, there's no keeping him in here unless you carefully magnet the screen down. And so I moved the magnets around so the screen would be over here. So that's why the screen's over here now, to protect him from the lights, but to allow him to come out, but when I didn't want him to be coming out because I had moved the screen but not set up the annex yet. There was a problem. Okay, so that's him. He's still not been to the bathroom. And he's befriending minnows, which is silly. And we're gonna have a great week together because it's vacation. So, he will see you. Anything else important to say? We talked about how we usually have plants here. We always do have the glass bottom. That's his basking area. We got the screen. The lights are going to be off the screen. He's not in contact with the pressurized wood because of the plastic tablecloth. I think that's it. Okay, so we will talk to you later.